Hello everybody, this is Nick from Trailer Park. I'm about to watch the brand new Disney animation film, Encanto. Coming to you now. Alright, I'm already digging it. I already hear Lin-Manuel. Not he himself, but you know, his general vibe. Lifting pianos. I love it. Leopard. Oh my god. Oh. Shapeshifters. Nobody's phased. The magical community. Oh.
Mirabel! Delivery! I gave you the special since you're the only Madrigal kid with no gift. I call it the not special special since, you have no gift.
Thanks?
And everyone's special. Okay, there's Lynn.
Gift or no gift, I am just as special as the rest of my family.
Who wants more pink?
All right, guys, where do I drop the wagon?
Maybe your gift is being in denial.
Oh, wow. Kids say the most hurtful things, don't they? Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Coming hot off of their last film, Raya, they had to impress me, honestly, a little bit. This isn't Pixar. They don't have that stellar reputation. Still pretty good in the last few years. This was bright, this was colorful, very obviously composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda music. That's just so fun, and immediately, like, you know that this film is gonna make you want to get up and dance. Much in the light that Coco honestly did, of just so infused with cultural flavor and the love for place and possibly local traditions. It really bleeds through, and I'm feeling that with this, so I'm stoked. Alright, it has now been 1 week, and I have watched this trailer more times than I can count up to in Spanish. I'll let you decide how many times you think that is. Welcome to the wonderful world of Casa Madrigal, Colombia, where syndrome has clearly taken over the world because everyone has superpowers. And when everyone's super, well, you can be sure that some scrawny nerd's rope of a misfit sure isn't. By now, the trope of an expanded world where superpowered people are commonplace is pretty well established. Often the entire plot of X-Men is to wax philosophical on the ethics of taking away the freedoms of gifted peoples versus raising the rest of humanity to their level. The series Heroes and Limitless play around with a future where you can be gifted superpowers via science. And other animated series like Avatar: The Last Airbender and My Hero Academia include very similar plot points about the merits of just being human when your best friend is the magic messiah or Superman incarnate on crack. Then of course there's also The Incredibles 1 and 2, which deal a lot with the contention between supers and non-supers. Where that puts us is a story that has gone through its paces in film and television. But where I find Encanto particularly intriguing is the emphasis on a single family household, a macro view of this world, as opposed to all of the visions of superheroes that have been based on the golden age of comics, taking place in places like New York or Chicago, or fictional cities like Metropolis or Gotham. This setting is historically pretty quintessential to the superhero story, so to take place on a macro level, giving us lots of face time with a small cast, could be a really interesting, intimate, and also something that just Disney hasn't done in a while. To be a Disney animation film is to be associated with starting very small and then gradually getting bigger and bigger, both in terms of stakes and setting. So then we have the big question that looms over this film. Is Mirabel special without her powers? Will she discover her superpowers by discovering a hidden part of herself? Or will she prove vital to the well-being of her family by being able to be different from them. The tricky problem with writing a story like this is that, generally speaking, you want what's called an active protagonist. Someone who takes action to accomplish their goals. That's going to be difficult to do if Mirabel's only goal is to become gifted like everyone else. Moana doesn't have a movie if she doesn't steal the boat to leave her island. Miguel from Coco doesn't have a movie if he doesn't steal his great-grandfather's guitar. Maybe Mirabel needs to steal something. Now, this is just a teaser, even though that word has lost all meaning nowadays, but it was enough to set up the world and the characters. So what else do we know about this film? Encanto is coming to theaters this year, November 24th, 2021, produced by Walt Disney Animation, who are decidedly not Pixar.
By Pixar, we are a proud and noble people, very protective of our name and brand.
This is the studio most recently behind Raya and the Last Dragon, but also all the Disney classics and flops. A lot of people think that Disney's classic princess movies and their other IPs are made by different studios, but I think that just goes to show that no matter how terrifyingly massive Disney continues to grow, they do allow their creative teams to branch out in different directions, as long as those directions are in 3D. There's an excellent video essay by Breadsword about Treasure Planet, how Disney sabotaged it, and why it was the last 2D or 2.5D animated film that Disney will ever make. As is often the case with animated films, Encanto has a multitude of directors. 3, in fact. We have Jared Bush, who also co-wrote the film. Bush was a writer for Moana and Zootopia, and was also co-director for Zootopia. Byron Howard, a former animator from Disney Animation who worked from the Pocahontas years of 1995 all the way to the Muddy Chicken Little years of 2005. He then went on to direct Bolt, Tangled, and Zootopia. And last we have Charisse Castro-Smith, who also co-wrote the film with Jared Bush, but is known for her writing and producing credits on The Haunting of Hill House, the 2018 series Sweet Bitter, and writing a number of theatrical productions. She is certainly an interesting pick to direct this one compared to the other two, so I'm looking forward to seeing how her history of writing for horror shows might influence this in some way, because this movie does not seem particularly creepy. I'm looking forward to seeing if she can add a bit of perspective to the crew of Disney lifers. Topping off the trio of directors, there is a third writer as well, that being the wonderful talents of Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's known that Lin-Manuel wrote music for the film, though it's not clear how much he was involved with the story itself. I would anticipate this one being on the level of Moana in terms of how musical it is, which seems obvious, but it's not always clear, as Raya and the Last Dragon has shown us. Top of the cast is Stephanie Beatriz, who is having a wonderful year so far after the incredible work on Lin-Manuel Miranda's Broadway musical film adaptation In the Heights, which is absolutely incredible, highly recommend. However, she's not just a hot celebrity right now. She has also had plenty of experience in voice work, BoJack Horseman, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, and the new DuckTales series. It's not clear yet what the roles the rest of the cast have, but we do know Diane Guerrero of Doom Patrol and Orange is the New Black, and Wilmer Valderrama, who played Fez on That 70s Show, will likely be playing large roles. This film is pretty important for Disney Animation, as its predecessor, Raya, probably didn't make a profit, mostly due to certain events of last year. Raya's estimated budget was somewhere over $100 million, with its worldwide box office of $115 million. Now compare that with 2019's Frozen 2. Oof. Now let's get down to what we're really about here at Trailer Park. Trailer analysis and review. This trailer doesn't elaborate on the details, but lets you know that this movie is going to be fun, but also tackles themes on identity, family, and finding your place in society, which, it's not exactly new ground for Disney. But the ground they are set in is Colombia. A nice change of scenery since the last Disney animation film to be set in South America was, think about it, The Emperor's New Groove. More importantly, since that was only 20 feature films ago for Disney Animation, and several of them take place in fictional worlds with no basis on our reality. This is the first time Disney Animation has cast a lead Latinx actor for their films since 2009, with Bruno Campos playing Prince Naveen in Princess and the Frog. What does that say about tone? Unfortunately, probably just that Disney Animation saw the insane figures that their sister company, Pixar, was pulling with Coco. Please tell me down in the comments if you can think of another Latinx actor from a Disney Animation Studio feature from any year. I haven't seen any others while I was looking. Title, Encanto, which translates to English roughly as charm. I'm a huge fan of one-word titles instead of the mouthful that is Raya and the Last Dragon or Ralph Breaks the Internet. Ugh. Cinematography is just as important in animated films as it is in live action. However, those who fill in for the director of photography role have the blessing and curse of dictating everything that's visible in the frame and every single asset that needs to be created for said frame. As the members of Casa Madrigal are introduced to us, we are given a series of tableaus. That is, static images that you might be able to imagine as a standalone photograph or painting. Tableaus tend to be somewhat two-dimensional and focus on the overall composition of the shot rather than movement. These are vibrant scenes, but nothing in this trailer strikes me as being terribly cinematic until we get to the sizzle reel of short clips towards the end. This leads us into our next topic of the narrative. As I said earlier, we don't find a lot about the plot of this film or the internal narrative. The story within the trailer itself tells us that Maribel is giftless in a family of gifted people. Are other people in the world gifted? Is it just this family? We don't really know. What else do we know about the plot of the film? Well, there's dancing. Dancing in a fever dream. More dancing. Same old lady with a candle, possibly a sad moment, and then we get two brief shots of a huge treehouse kind of thing, and Nature Boy surrounded by animals. He rides up the steps of the tree on his leopard, and then some children rub salt in Maribel's insecurities. All this tells us right now is that, more or less, this film should be contained to the personal relationships of the people in this village or town and the people of Casa Madrigal. By the way, in case you're curious, I'll save you a Google. Madrigal is a type of musical composition originating in the Renaissance and early Baroque period. It was very popular in Italy from the 14 to 1700s, specifically non-religious in nature. Now I believe that virtually all fictional names tend to have some meaning behind them in film, but I'm not too confident about this one. Maybe it just sounds like magical? The film is musical, but not quite this type of music. It's a choice. The actual music of this film is sounding fantastic, as of course we knew it would be. Lin-Manuel tweeted that he'd been working on this for a few years now, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's done with this. Moana had some of the best, catchiest songs of recent Disney canon, and some stinkers. We'll have to see how this compares. I think the pacing is quite good, perhaps until the end. It tells you enough to interest you without being a full-fledged trailer. The one line about the not special fell a little flat for me, but it gets the point across that Mirabel doesn't have any powers and therefore isn't special or gifted. The last bit at the end didn't reveal enough to really send me over the moon for this film. Not in the way that Coco did when it opened up to dazzle us with that incredible underworld. I think they could have done without the sizzle reel and the children burn at the end. Personally, I rate my excitement from this film, my pure hype from this trailer, above what I felt from Raya.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Below Luca.
There's just one thing.
But well below Coco. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to the last category, popcornability. Or how well we think this trailer did its job to sell tickets, get butts in seats in theaters that are now acceptable as part of the social consciousness again. I think it's done a great job, but it's not quite there yet. This trailer has already amassed millions of views. And between this and Luca, you know, this kind of feels like a Pixar film, doesn't it? A lead that is a bit meek, with plenty of internal conflict in a world where extraordinary circumstances happen everywhere. I wouldn't say that Luca feels like a Disney animation film, but Encanto does feel like Pixar. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. All in all, I'm gonna rate this trailer 3.5 capybaras out of 5. thank you so much for watching. This is a brand new channel. If you do us a favor by liking and subscribing, that'd really give us a head start, and we would love for you to come on this journey to explore film trailers together. Is there a trailer you want us to do next? Please leave it down in the comments and let us know. Till next time.